Good evening, Prescott Valley, and welcome to the March 12th, 2019 Parks and Rec Commission meeting. Can I get a roll call, Kathy?
Commissioner Brinkman?
Here.
Commissioner Frere?
Here.
Commissioner Fallman?
Here.
And Vice Chairperson Polican?
Here. All right, we're going on to approval of the agenda for March 12th. Approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for March 12th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Here, none opposed. Moving on to number 4, approval of minutes for, I guess we'll do one by one, February 12th, 2019, regular meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the February 12th, 2019 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. February 26th,
I'll make a motion to accept the February 26th work-study meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Cool. Move on to number 5, scheduled announcements.
Good evening, Commissioners. Just a quick rundown of some upcoming activities. We have our Kickstart Boot Camp for Women. Our next session will begin March 18th and continue through April 22nd. This is a Friday through Monday, 5:30 a.m. class held over at our Boys and Girls Club facility. Next is our basic dog obedience class. So this way you and your furry friend can come learn the basics. Of course, addressing sit, stay, come, and heel, but also some behavioral issues if we need to. This is conducted by our Legacy Dog Obedience instructor. So classes will start Wednesday, March 27th. They meet once a week for a total of 6 weeks. We're exploring Arizona in our March day trip on Thursday, March 28th. This will be at the McDowell Mountain Regional Park. We'll be having lunch at the Soul Modern Arizona, and then we'll finish our trip with a guided tour of the Southwestern Conservation Center. Be a Better Basketball Player Camp is kickstarting again, led by Coach Roy Jenkins. Our next session starts Tuesday, April 9th. These are for ages 8 to 12 and then 13 to 17. Our Kids Zumba class is for those young people that love dance at heart to some really upbeat music, as well as learning some really tremendous choreography. This is available for our youth ages 7 to 14. Classes are held on Tuesday evenings from 5 to 5:45 at our Civic Center. And then we have a pretty crazy thing, making socks, and I could use some fresh ones after having to jump into some puddles this morning. In doing that, this is taught by Miss Lorna Crooks. This is a 3-session workshop. It has a fee of $40 for the 3 sessions, and it's for ages 13 and up. These are held on Mondays from 11 a.m. until 1:30 here at the Civic Center. We have additional sessions that will be running in April, May, all the way through until August. So these are some fun knitting level workshops for us. Mud Puppies. This is taught by artist Danny Fisher. This is a clay enrichment class for kids ages 5 to 12. It is an 8-class session for those students. They'll be learning basic skills, terms, and the process of creating handmade clay pieces. This is an 8-week session again, $165. It is Wednesdays, 5:30, 6:30 p.m., April 17th through June 5th, and this is held at the Civic Center. And last but not least is our upcoming event, Badges and Bobbers and Gold Fever Day, all on Saturday, April 27th down at Fane Park. Badges and Bobbers is a free fishing program with the Prescott Valley Police, Central Arizona Fire District, as well as the Arizona Game and Fish Department. It will be held from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Gold Fever Days will be operating during the same time frame, all the way until 7 p.m. with live music, reenactors, survivalist demonstrations, games, vendors galore, along with hero party, rentals, and more. To learn more information about any of these classes, programs, or our special events as listed, you can visit us at pvaz.net or give the call to the office at 759-3090. That concludes our presentation of upcoming programs, classes, and activities.
Awesome. I know I'm looking forward to the Badges and Bobbers. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah.
You got me hooked.
If the weather cooperates.
Oh, but it does. We're just making sure the lake's full.
Any questions for Brian on the events or scheduled announcements there?
I have one for Gold Fever Days. So you can have a shuttle running back and forth? Or?
We will. Due to the limitations of parking there at Fain Park, we'll have alternative parking up on top. So we'll have shuttles that will run through. We're working on a route map right now, so that'll be available also on our website. So as the event date gets a little bit closer, we'll have that uploaded and listed. The shuttles will be free. Parking will be free. Admission is free. So we'll have all of those different things lined out and ready to go.
Awesome. Let's move on to department updates for director report.
At this time, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all might have. There's going to be a number of different items discussed tonight that I and other department members have been hard at work. I'm happy to report that we all survived Snowmageddon, or whatever folks were calling it. For me, it just goes back home. It was just another day in doing that. But things went very well. We did have to delay our daddy-daughter date night program because of that. We wanted everybody to stay safe. So we just pushed it back an additional week. We had some folks, unfortunately, couldn't join us because of conflicts within their schedule, but it opened up opportunities for folks that were on the waiting list. So we were able to accommodate everything as much as we possibly could. Tremendous activity. Things went well. Thank you to all of our volunteers that helped us create all the different decorations. Tremendous creativity coming from staff as well as those fine folks that were helping us out. Can't say enough about all of that, as well as our new venue that we had doing that. So great time for all. Look forward to next year. Hope everyone survived well, and we'll talk about some of the other goodies, but I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have, my report or the department's report as a whole.
A question about Arbor Day,
Yes, ma'am.
and this will be in April.
Yes, it will. It will be Friday, April 27th. 6th. Okay, so the anesthesia is still working on me. And then it'll be held at Bob Edwards Park. No. Son of a gun. Oh, you've got me totally stumped right now.
It's going to be at Sunflower.
Sunflower, thank you. When I said Bob Edwards, that was last year. Yeah, thank you. So I need to flash forward as opposed to backwards.
That's all right. We'll keep you honest.
So Sunflower Park, Friday the 26th of April, we'll be joining there. And we have our planned festivities. We'll have a couple of guests with us, as we typically do. We'll be planting a number of different trees, so it's a hands-on experience for our youngsters. We'll be working with a couple of our different sponsors, as well as our local service club, with the hopes that we're able to provide free lunch for those students that are joining us from the adjoining schools. We typically have about 100, 150 students that join us, some family members, neighbors, all of those good things. So we're looking fun to the fun and festivities, and our baseline service as a Tree City USA community is what Arbor Day and our celebration takes fast for us. So,
Any additional questions at all? No? All right. We're going to pass on the chairperson report to
That's where I was going to talk about the...
Oh, yeah. Pass on to you, Commissioner.
any goodies? Yes, Commissioner Gummer, if you're listening, probably not. You're probably asleep. But congratulations to you and your family. They just had a very successful birth of their newest grandchild. So he is not joining here, but Commissioner Freyer had some goodies in his stead. So.
Yeah, I just seemed like the appropriate place to fill in some information from the mayor's open forum meeting that he held on March 1st on community events. There's somewhere between 30 and 40 people that attended, I believe, as well as members of staff and the mayor and town manager, of course. But just wanted to make everybody aware of some of the ideas that were being kicked around, and hopefully we'll see some participation in the master planning in the future that reflects the community's needs. But Obviously, with me there, bike trails and events centered around mountain biking specific came up quite a bit. Had good discussion about it and what it could bring for the community, as well as disc golf. There's several representatives from the local disc golf club that has started here in Prescott Valley, and they're hoping to gain some traction. They actually held an event at Fane Park this past weekend, a little get together where they had 20 or 30 people participate in that. A lot of folks wanted to see more music events, whether it's at the theater on the green or at the event center. Mention of Battle of the Bands and the music festival like we held last year with the 40th anniversary. Wine and food truck festivals was another thing with the people that participated. Thought that would be a good draw for people to come to town. Run-in events and motorsports. The gentleman that ran the Rough Rider 100 was in attendance, and sounds like he's pretty committed to the community and did a lot of the work on his own. And that was a great point the town manager had mentioned, with a lot of the work and footwork that needs to take place for events like these that are events of people's interest need the community involvement and the community to come together and form a subcommittee of our commission. That's one of his suggestions, and to take the ball and run with it, and just have the town be the support mechanism, not
Driving force.
the driving force and the one doing all the work. So with that, I'd say out to the community. If you have your interests, bring them to the commission, and be prepared to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty, because it's a lot of work to do those things. And the communities around us that have big events aren't run on the staff of the cities or towns that host them. They're run on the organizations that put the work in. So just thought that would be a good thing to share with everybody. And since Commissioner Gummer's not here tonight, I stepped in and filled that role. So
Awesome. Well, that's all good information to have. I think it's good for the community to be involved, and that works out well. Anything to add? Any questions at all?
I'd like to add one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to have a welcome for Kathy Wise coming back. She's been gone for 3 months. Commission Mister.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Item number 7 here, we'll go on to the Tree Advisory Business Board. Do we have any updates at all?
Unfortunately, not at this time. We've conducted some outreach to some of our local providers, as well as then also APS, asking to see if there would be some possible participation through their forestry division in regards to our tree advisory committee, as well as a member of the public and industry in doing that. So as soon as we have that feedback, I'm hoping that comes here fairly soon. I know we have a tentatively scheduled date in April for the tree advisory committee to get together in regards to their reviews and reflections for 2019-2020's planning.
Very good. Any questions at all about that? Move on to old business, number 8 here, capital project update.
Yes, I wanted to reflect a couple of recent accomplishments on our capital program. Will be soon having delivered the volleyball and other gymnasium items that will be coming into the Boys and Girls Club Annex. We have also completed the installation of the Mountain Valley Park scoreboards, in addition to also then the PA system there at the fourplex that will be used for tournaments and other activities scheduled there. In the very near future, as I mentioned earlier, the Boys and Girls Club Gymnasium Annex, I hope to be before you in April announcing a ribbon cutting date, but that may come even before that. So, but we're working to see. We've run into a couple of little items in regards to some utility hookups, and then appropriate scheduling of those. So we'll get that handed out to us here in just a little while, but we're anticipating the possibility of a late April or even early to mid-May ribbon cutting celebration there. The big element there is the new floor coming in. So that will be one of the finishing touches. But everyone else is going like gangbusters and making that happen. So pretty exciting environment there. Then also under construction starting Monday of this week is the Mountain Valley Park playground and that construction. So although the perimeter fencing went up on Monday, our crews are out there in regards to the removals of all of the existing engineered wood fiber that's there, also the install of the new slide on the existing playground unit there. Once that is completed, Mother Nature has her way and moves out of the area. Then our construction team will come in. They'll be beginning with the movement of some of the existing pieces into other areas, some curb cuts for the expansion areas that we have to do, putting all of that perimeter curbing in place, and then the actual installation, subgrade work that's necessary, and then finishing off with the pour-in-place surfacing, and then also the new engineered wood fiber that will come into play. So that is our schedule. We're anticipating, as of right now, there's a public service announcement that has gone out. We'll also be notifying all of our different groups and activities that we're anticipating anywhere between the next 3 to 4 weeks for that construction project to take place. So the rest of the park is open, usable. Go have fun, enjoy the heck out of yourselves. But unfortunately, the playground right now is just down and out. Then in addition to that, our future elements is a discussion item for tonight, and that'll be over at the Granville Unit 6 area located at Glassford Hill and Santa Fe Loop in that park construction, and that will be the playground and pickleball courts that we have. So those are our remaining items that are still on our capital program. All other items are slated for completion ahead of schedule, well before the end of the fiscal year at the end of June. But everything else so far has been completed. So feeling very good about that.
Awesome. Very exciting time to see all the new additions and modifications and growing, to say the least. And the Boys and Girls Club has been a wonderful addition, driving by it and seeing the growth of it. It's awesome. So looking forward to hanging upside down on the Mountain Valley Park here soon.
There you go.
Any other questions on the capital project update at all? No? All right. Department master plan update?
With that, we have received 5 proposals. Our evaluation committee will be gathering tomorrow afternoon. They will be then submitting in their evaluations. We'll have some group review and reflection on that. We'll tally up the results from that process. Will determine then our possible candidates for on-site interviews and review, then with recommendations stemming from that for finalists and beginning the process of negotiations for a proposal that will then be recommended to then council for their consideration of awarding a contract. So that our timeline will be this Friday, the evaluation team gathering, the 28th and 29th of the month for on-site interviews, reviews, updates, and then following that with recommendation to council for award in mid to late April.
All righty. Good to hear. Any questions about the department master plan update?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, sir. Be there, be square.
Moving on to new business. So we have the Granville Unit 6 Park Playground.
Yes. Again, we have our guests with us tonight. We have Mr. Jordan Lind, as well as then also this troublemaker, Jim Ash. They're ready to present to you their final proposal and recommendations for our Unit 6 inclusive playground, the first coming into our community. I'm not going to steal any more thunder. I'm going to get out of this fine gentleman's way. Yes, sir, I sure will.
Okay. 2 things I'm really looking for.
Oh, my.
Thank you for having us out here again. We've had a lot of fun working on this, and I don't want to belabor this, so I'm going to jump right into it. And before I do, I'm going to hand something to you guys to sort of look at as a close-up visual while you'll see it on the screen as well.
Perfect.
They aren't the same, so I'll start at both ends. They're just different angles of the overall design, and then you pass them down. Okay, so what you're going to see there is you see we basically had to take all the thoughts, concepts, and ideas that we had, along with the budget that we were working with, and sort of roll them all together. The first picture here that we're looking at is sort of looking at it from the corner of the playground that has both sidewalks attached to it. What you see is partial sidewalk. And also, we extended the sidewalk into the playground so we could maximize the rubber surfacing that we had available through the budget. With this, we are able to get to every piece of playground equipment, the major play structure in the middle. We've got our roller table. We've got our orb rocker. You see our sand table. We've got our swing set. We've got the Volito swing that has the disc in it. There was only one item that we can get to, and that was our rocket tunnel, and that's in the far corner of the playground. I'll show you an overhead view as well so you can get a better idea of it. But we came in with the idea that if we used some concrete in there, which is obviously a lot less expensive than the rubber, we could maximize the rubber that we did have available in order to get to almost all of the items to bring all the kids together. So what you see here is the one view. There's the view from the other side. I'm going to go backwards for a second because I did not cover something. You see where it says custom panel on the main play structure? We're going to leave that to you guys to name. If the playground has, if you just want it to be Granville Playground, if it's being dedicated to somebody, we're going to customize that for you and put whatever you'd like on there. If we just like Prescott Valley, put on there whatever you want. You just let us know. But it's going to be a real nice entrance piece to the playground for the community to see as they're walking up. And then we've got a special panel that's going to be on this playground somewhere that I'll show you here in just a little bit. But let's go through the layout first. So we got that one side here. Got the other side that you can see of the playground with, we got our double sand table there that we all talked about. We have the seesaw that we liked, the roller table. We had to make a few changes to the play structure and make it a little bit smaller. We had to pull away the cruiser that was on it, the rocking cruiser, in order to hit budget for this. But we were able to keep the swings with the inclusive seats, and also the swings. It's got the Volito swing with the big disc, as well as the rocket tunnel that's sort of the quiet space in the far corner. We got it as far away as we could from the music panels. So let's take an overhead look. And this is one we looked at last week, but this way you can really get a feel for all the items we're reaching. You can see that in the center, we extended the sidewalk into the play structure into the playground in order to get us to the two different swings there. And then on to the left, we extended the sidewalk out to get us to the music panels, to the play structure, to the roller platform, to our seesaw. And then also you can see our sandbox in the top left. We've got our sandbox with the sand table right next to it. So the kids can all play there. And we intentionally kept the sandbox away from the wood chips. It's got concrete on both sides of it to hopefully keep that, in the sand area, and the wood chips in the wood chip area. That's what the layout's going to look like within the park. So you can see where the existing sidewalk is and how we extend it out with our concrete as well. And then we're also included in our price is clearing out that entire area, going down 12 inches deep, and then putting concrete curb on everything that's not a sidewalk. We've added a 12-inch by 6-inch concrete curb to retain everything. So before I go any further, any questions on the layout, the design, anything we put together? I'll go back a little bit.
On the sand table, how does that work? Do they get a scoop out of the sandbox and bring it to the table and
Yes.
shake it around
Yeah,
or
it's-
whatever?
Exactly. And we can, a lot of schools have thought, you put the sand table in the sand, then you can no longer, if you're in a wheelchair, get under the sand table. So you have to, unfortunately, that's how it just has to work. The idea is they've got a caregiver, a friend, somebody that's working with them to enjoy the sand and work with it. So
And then the slide, the stairs going up to the slide, so that would need an assist to get up to the landing for the top of the slide.
yeah, correct.
There's a secondary side, it looks like, that's on that little elevated platform.
Yeah, it's much lower and be a lot easier for, a child that adverse to risk. That'd be a perfect slide for them to go down.
Okay.
And we've got one of that size, let's see, on the other side as well, sort of hidden by the shade canopy. You got one to the left and one to the right as well. So you're coming off different directions if you want.
And it looks like you have quite a few panels throughout the play complex with music and education
Yep.
and all kinds of things. I like that.
We've got a special panel that leads me to the next slide. Based upon the input we had from our last meeting, our communication board. That is custom designed by Burke to go on this play structure. So a child that's not able to communicate verbally is able then to point to the different messages and express to their friend or caregiver, parent, what they're feeling, what they'd like to do, whether they want to go on the swings, the rocker, if they're hungry, if they need a drink, if they're happy, they're sad. They can communicate this whole range of emotions as well as what they would like to do next while they're out on there in the playground. And our thought, and I don't have a pointer, but it would go where you see, it says animal tracks panel. It's to the very far right.
Yeah.
It would go right there. And we'll move that animal tracks panel somewhere else on the playground.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
So
good.
we're real thrilled with that.
I'm glad you kept that roller one.
We thought that was an important piece to have on there.
Like
We really did. So it's
Like the colors too. I mean, we discussed that previously in other playground selections of kind of matching the high school colors, and that looks like you nailed it.
it's a nice combination.
And you have some nice shade areas there
Yeah.
that we talked about.
There's the overhead again. So again, I know in in a perfect world we would have liked the entire area to be rubber. Fortunately, the budget as it exists with $108,000 really didn't allow for that, without really scaling down on most of the equipment, and that sort of loses the point of why a child is out there. So here, let me show you our breakdown of the budget just so you can see where the money is going. So the play structure and equipment, list price on it, $108,000. The freight on that, and it's a truckload freight, is $6,350. Installation just under $25,000 to put all those pieces in the ground. Then we have a breakdown of our surfacing, our wood fiber with the freight and installation. You're looking just over $4,000 plus another $7,000, so $11,000 there. The rubber that's a delivered and installed price with a sub base and everything, $14,400. The little bit of sand that we're putting in, $325. And you can see there's a nice chunk in the site work. Excavating the whole area out, $15,875. Concrete walkways, extending those out, $76.30. The 6x12 curb, $51.50. There's a nice discount of almost $20,000 there going through the Mojave contract, which real big help. And then, of course, we estimated the tax in there to try to bring it in. So we're just above the budget at just under $185,000. But really, that was trying to squeeze in a whole lot into there. So
Maybe we can go back to the drawings and ask
Yeah.
for comments from our
you bet.
audience.
Come on up.
My question would be the panels that are up there. I love the panels, but they're all accessible by, I'm going to conclude that's wood chip. Is it a double-sided panel? Is the same thing on both sides?
Correct.
Thank you.
Great question. Yeah, I was thinking.
Absolutely great question, yes. Yep. So.
even that communication when double-sided would be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes, it will be. So,
Come on up. Okay.
The slides all exit onto the wood chip. So you have someone who can access one of those lower slides without steps, as in a wheelchair. Once they get to the bottom of the slide, the wood chip pile.
they are in sort of the way we have to look at it. We could look at it, look at extending out one of those areas of rubber to include the slide. But also, we're sort of looking at it as wood fiber is an accessible surface, so we have to sort of look at it that way. Is it the best accessible surface? No, but it is accessible. And then there's some onus on maintenance to make sure it stays nice and level all the time. But the other option would be to extend out, and it would be pretty easy to do from the one on the right to bring out a patch rubber to capture the slide there, or to come off the left and capture that slide with a bit of rubber.
I would say
Yeah.
if you capture any of those slides, I would suggest ones that are accessible from the ramp play structure without steps.
Sure. No, it's great. I agree.
Yeah, because I know I have an athlete who uses the wheelchair, though she can get out and stand and take a step or two, but then at that point, once she goes down, somebody has got to bring the chair.
It's very difficult.
What would be, just looking, what would be the idea or amount to add additional rubberized in that general area in one of those two options?
To capture either slide,
Yeah, another strip that's 10 by 20 or what have you to get from.
$1,500, $2,000 right in there.
That's a doable thing, I think, to make the project all inclusive when it comes to access. That's
Yeah.
just my thought. I don't know.
We can absolutely do that.
Great question.
Brian, can you refresh our memory on the total budget for the playground equipment?
Yes, sir. As of right now, our total budget slated for this project is $180,000. So we're roughly about $5,000 over. Additional, let's say it's $2,000 as a possibility. That's basically what we would have to strive to find, either through donations, contributions, other savings. But we are limited to budget availability. So. In doing that. So currently I would say we're out of scope by $5,000 to $7,000.
Well, I think it's great, and I really take to heart your point there. I'd hate to spend $180,000 on something that kids may still have trouble with. So if we can find the extra 25 to five grand to incorporate those areas somewhere, whether it's through the Friends of Prescott Valley Parks or whatever, the foundation, or a fundraiser of some sort, I think it would be important to try and make that happen.
That's a great point. Any additional questions, I guess, from the audience? Okay. I think the presentation's awesome. I think the park looks fantastic. I think the accessibility, especially from the parking lot access area, isn't excessively far away. I imagine that structure, I can't imagine it, but that's the restrooms near there, right? There's no elevation changes in that general area, so that's another great point. Having that peaceful area near the trees and the rock area is another
It's an
good,
excellent
quiet place as
layout.
well. We discussed in the previous meeting, so good shade as well. Yeah, when the trees get matured and developed. Other than just a couple monetary things and a couple minor adjustments, I think it'll be a fantastic addition to Prescott Valley Parks, and we look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you. And I don't know if this is offline. If you'd like, we will, finalize the quote. And add the areas in and just get you an actual official quote, and then you can move from there and let us know what you'd like to change, if anything.
Do we need to make a motion for accepting the quote, Brian, or?
No, the design.
It would just be
Design
based upon the
concept?
design.
Okay.
Staff will work with our vendor in regards to finalizing what that quote would be. There may be some tweaking based upon what the design is right now. Again, striving towards to get it within our budget that we have. And the reason why I say that and emphasize it, and I have expressed it before, if there are able to be found opportunities through some of our other projects, that would be fantastic. I can be upfront and honest with you. This will probably be the first one. So finding savings afterwards, it might be an opportunity where we could make those different types of adjustment, pour in place as an achievable thing even after the fact. So if we have a product installed, we might be able to find an opportunity to say, hey, we would like to add a little bit more in there if we're able to find those types of things. We might be able to also find some outreach, contributions, volunteerism, support, those types of things that might make this even easier to be able to do. So we'll work with Jordan and his team on those aspects of things. And then ultimately, if the commission is good with the design and its general layout as it exists right now, we would be looking from a staff perspective for your recommendation to then forward this and that final quotation then to council and add that to their March 28th action item.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept this design with the option that you look at making either future additions or modifications if possible, if there's a few extra dollars floating around. But I think this is an absolutely excellent design. I think this hits all of the areas that we want. So I'll make that motion.
All right. Do I have a second for the motion?
I'll second it.
All right. We have a second for the motion for the Granville Unit 6 Park. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. Sounds like we have unanimous approval.
I just want to express my appreciation for allowing us to come and work with you on this. This has been a great experience. We've really been enjoying it, so thank you.
It was a good
Thank you
experience for me, too,
the
that you
public's
came.
input as well.
Absolutely.
Very, very
It was
interesting.
educational for us.
Yes, and to get the
Absolutely it was.
catalog and look through all that, it was really a very fine presentation.
I would like to express my appreciation of Jordan and his team, members of our community that have been with us from the beginning. So thank you, ladies, very, very much. Also, our other participants that have contributed their comments and input via email or phone calls. They've been silent from at least this, but they have not in regards to the project. So in doing that, I'm very happy in regards to the fact that Jim and Jordan and your other presenter that came in from Wisconsin, Whitney, and for all of their time that they've given to this, as well as travel, because Whitney traveled in from Wisconsin, correctly, to be able to be with us in review of what an inclusive playground is, their support materials, their continued education, doing those types of things. And the most impressive part, and please do not take this the wrong way, but vendors in general in regards to listening to the clients. And the clients were the commission, the public, staff, you name it. And I agree with you. I think they've hit a home run in regards to being able to put together a package that was as involved as it was. Yes, we've had to make some concessions in regards to the design over, as you go through that process, some things stay, some things go, new things come on board. But I think they've really done a very good job here. So without reservation, I would concur with you all and make that recommendation to council.
The process has been second to none with materials and, imagery and concepts and input from public has been second to none through my experiences, which is extravagant, of course. Very good. We'll close out the new business catalog and move on to the other. Anything to add for other? Commission? Nope. All right, cool. Unscheduled public appearances. Anybody have any unscheduled public appearances at all? I won't read the disclaimer if we don't. Awesome. Looks like we have our next public meeting scheduled for Tuesday, April 9th. It's my little guy's birthday, so I won't be here, unfortunately. It's going to be the wonderful age of 8, so we'll be enjoying these parks for his birthday, I'm sure.
Could bring the cake here.
I'll bring you guys cake afterwards. If that works for you folks.
Honorary member already.
Yes, he's been to a few of them. So yeah, we have the next scheduled appointment April 9th at 6:30 here in this auditorium. And then we'll make a motion for adjournment. Anybody have a motion for adjournment for tonight's meeting?
I'll make the motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
All right, do I have a second? Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Good night, Prescott Valley, and thank you guys so much. Have a good